Hello and welcome back to somebody on Wrestling and to an edition of Raw Out of 10. And it's a big show today because, of course, it is the last Raw before Crown Jewel, and also it's a bit of a Halloween special episode. So we got some trick or street fights, like the usual stuff you get. We got quite a few interesting tag team matches on the card, including a debut. But we kicked off the match with Dominic Mysterio taking on Ricochet. Raw opened with Rhea Ripley's music and her coming out with Dom and JD. She welcomed the crowd and touted the Judgment Day's recent success. Sami Zayn interrupts her and said he is sick of hearing the group and he's been fighting people like them his entire career. Ricochet joined Zayn before the faction could attack him. This led into Ricochet and Dominic Mysterio's match, and we saw return from the break to see the match already in progress. The highlight of the night was taking it to Dirty Dom as Ripley yelled instructions from ringside. He was able to take control with some cheap tactics, but only temporarily. The match took up 2 segments, so with the JMO that opened the show, the Judgment Day took up most of the half hour of the show. The promo segment was decent, but the match was even better. Dom has real improvements in the months and putting a lot on display as he earned it here. Ricochet has been good and versatile as always, forcing his opponent to get better, but even come close to being on his level. But he's also making his rivals look good. Dom scored the win by rolling Ricochet out with a handful of the tights, following a distraction from JD. And yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 for me. A really, really good segment. I think, yeah, for me, absolutely. The way to do it, I think, with JD's distraction, I think that worked nicely. The Judgment Day getting more over, Ricochet can recover from it. It's kind of a fluky loss. So yeah, it all worked nicely. 7 out of 10. Next up was Alpha Academy versus the Creed brothers. Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree accompanied Chad Gable and Otis to the ring for their match against the Creeds, making their Raw debut. For those who don't know, the Creed brothers have been one of the best tag teams in NXT for the past few years. They favour a technical powerhouse style similar to the Steiner brothers in the 90s. Ivy Nile accompanied them to the ring, so may have been called up with them too. Gable and Julia started off with a nice exchange of takedowns and counters. You could see the amateur wrestling background of both men. Kind of on full display, and yeah, when they tugged in, we got a standoff between Brutus and Otis and the powerhouses. While this match did not show any experience, the two teams working together, it was also a fun showdown, more than meets the eye. The Creed have been grubbing to do with pairing with Otis and Gable for their Raw debut and help put their best skills in front of them. The second half of the match was a lot better than the first. After Julius managed to get Otis on his shoulders, Brutus hit him with a finisher for an upset victory. All four men shook hands and celebrated afterwards, which was nice. And just 7 out of 10. I think a solid enough introduction the Creeds. The match kind of felt like it got better as it went on, and yeah, I think it's good first opponents for them. And yeah, for me, I think the Creeds have all the attributes to be very successful on the main roster, so very excited to see what they can do. Before it's time for DIY versus Imperium, The Miz hosted an episode of his talk show with Gunther as a special guest, or at least he tried. When he attempted to bring out the interview, nothing happened. Kaiser and Vinci came out to insult the A-lister. Gunther finally decides to make an appearance as they were arguing. He told The Miz that he was not his guest and didn't respect him at all. They traded insults, but until the IC champion had Kaiser crush a pumpkin, bury the A-listers later. The Miz tries to put up a fight, but the numbers getting caught up. And not only does it look like WWE might be turning into a babyface, he may well be your next challenger, which would be an interesting move. One that maybe I'm not too sure about Miz as a babyface, but let's just see where it goes. As he left the arena, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa came out to face Kaiser and Vinci in tag action. Vinci and Gargano started for their teams with a simple lockup, but quickly picked up the pace. These two have fought many times in NXT, so they have picked right back up where they left off. This was a solid 1-2 punch with Miz TV, setting up Gunther versus The Miz, and the match following segment. Everyone was on point and gave us a second entertaining tag match of the night. DIY scored the win when Gargano pinned Vinci following the finisher. And yeah, it gets a 7 out of 10. Let's say I thought, yeah, between two of the best tag teams in the division, which is a really good match. Of course, it was going to be. And yeah, I think the kind of where we're going on both these tag teams is interesting. Miz in there as well. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued where it goes in future weeks. So yeah, this is good stuff. Candice LeRae then took on Xia Li, and yeah, when Lee was brought to the main roster, WWE gave her a fancy entrance and set to give her a big push, but it seems to have stopped and it hasn't picked up again until now. After attacking LeRae backstage last week, Lee entered the match as a heel. The Poison Pixie went right after as soon as the bell rang. Lee quickly turned the table and took control. She nailed LeRae with a brutal kick to the head, and the ref called for the bell, citing LeRae's inability to continue. Some trainers went down to check on her as Lee celebrated the win. The way it looked like it could be a legitimate injury, so yeah, hopefully LeRae's okay and recovers quickly. But for Lee, big win, and hopefully this is the start of her maybe getting more opportunities on the main roster, because I think that's what we all want to see. But yeah, for what this was with the injury, 5 out of 10. Seth Rollins then took on JD McDonough. We got a special video highlighting McIntyre before Rollins danced his way out for his match. The Visionary gave a long promo before the bout about his match against McIntyre. He says he doesn't carry Scott, doesn't want to win the world title, and he wanted and feels no pity for him. When the match started, McDonough found a way to take control and began punishing Rollins with his signature brand of targeting offense. Rollins had a big size and power advantage, but the Irishman used his skill, speed, and a few dirty tricks to keep him from being a total underdog. This was a competitive match between two guys at the top of their game. As Rollins was preparing to win, Priest walked towards the ring with his Money in the Bank briefcase and a referee by his side. He stood near the announce table to watch what happened. The originally hit a pedigree and a stump for the win and kept a eye on Priest the whole time just to make sure he didn't try and cash in. So yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 for me. I thought the way it played off all the different angles there, JD, obviously Judgment Day, and yeah, Drew as well. I thought it worked really nicely. Good way for Rollins building space for you, and yeah, gets a 7 out of 10 from me. It was then time for Natalya versus Chelsea Green. The annual tradition of Chicken Street Fight continued this year when Natalya steps into the ring with Chelsea Green. Green and Niven came out dressed as the Heart Foundation to play some mind games with the Queen of Hearts. A few seconds into the contest, Green hit Natalya in the face with a pie, but then immediately stamped her head into the mat. Green started throwing candy and weapons into the ring while Niven helped. Natalya tried to put both women into a sharpshooter, but they kicked into the ring post to counter. Nikki Cross was revealed to be hiding under a table with her head in a pumpkin. Her face was motionless and expressionless. The match was never going to be a classic 5-star encounter because it wasn't designed to be that. It was a holiday themed comedy bout, and that's exactly what we got. This was decent enough, but felt a bit out of place on a show that was great from an in-ring perspective leading up to this. Green scored the win with some help with Niven. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I don't know, it just didn't kind of feel like the Trick or Street fights we had in the past have been good. Yeah, this kind of just felt just a bit there. I wasn't a fan of loads of it, to be honest. So yeah, unfortunately it gets a 5 out of 10 from me. It was then main event time. Damian Priest taking on Sami Zayn. And yeah, unlike most weeks, the Archer Infinity was running solo on this particular occasion. Zayn's a natural at playing the underdog, and he's also good at making himself look like a threat to much bigger competitors as he's so great. The Archer Infinity had some late match help from Dom and Finn Balor until Jey Uso came out to help. He ended up getting Zayn disqualified when he super kicked Priest. Cody Rhodes made it a 3-on-3 fight. The match was good up until the Overbooked ending that seems to plague every Judgment Day match these days. So yeah, it gets 7 out of 10, but yeah, I don't know, just kind of wish we had more of a clean ending, but kind of seems like a bit of a wish these days with the Judgment Day ending. But you know, it still wasn't an overall bad segment. I still enjoyed it. So yeah, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. And overall, Raw this week gets a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent show this week. I thought, yeah, lots of good tag matches throughout it. The Creed Brothers debuting. Enjoyed the first few matches on the card especially. So yeah, Trick or Street matches, I thought that was pretty alright. But you know, on the whole, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought a solid show on the whole. But anyway guys, that's it really. Thanks so much for watching. Share, subscribe, next time for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to the channel, I greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.